So I wanted to talk a little bit about concerts and concert tickets, with a lot of artists now getting ready to try to start rebooking their shows that were canceled from the last year. You're seeing some book now actually in 2022, so another year away. There's still some shows that looks like are going to go off that through the end of this year, August and September maybe, of bands that are going to go out and try and tour. We'll see if those materialize or not. I actually had tickets to go see Pearl Jam in St. Louis, Los Angeles, and Oakland, California. And since we've gone ahead and got refunds for our Oakland, California tickets, but we're still holding on to the St. Louis ones. That's obviously a drive close to Kansas City. But then Los Angeles is always a fun place to go to. So we're going to hang on to those tickets. But there are shows that are coming up, which got me to thinking and looking at concert tickets and stubs that I had, how they've changed over the years. And I've got some of the concert stubs that I've remembered to hang on to throughout the years. And fortunately, the first one to kick it off, and as you can tell how different they are when we get through this video, is that this was the Eagles, Linda Ronstadt, and Dan Fogelberg. My very first concert to go to at Arrowhead Stadium back in 1978. So you can see how the tickets kind of have changed there. Boston's very first tour off of their first album with Sammy Hagar opening up. Great show there. Seeing how they've changed Styx a little bit differently. Then there were times that when they got printed on there, the printing would fade. It wasn't the same as that screen printing on there. They were automated, and the printing disappeared. Luckily, I wrote down on there after knowing what it was, so I had the memory. But Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers, I think it was 1979, also at Memorial Hall here in Kansas City. Very small venue, about 1,500 seats. And I think the opening band was the Fabulous Poodles. You see the shows continue through the 70s to kind of have that same look on there. Heart, Van Halen, changed it a little bit. Rush. Back then they actually had a lot of shows that they'd have outdoor venues like football stadiums, baseball stadiums. One was the Doobie Brothers on there. The portion that got torn off was actually the Doobie Brothers, Journey, Kenny Loggins, and April Wine at that. Again, an outdoor event. They used to have what was summer jams or summer rocks also. This is one of the most memorable ones I went to in '79. It went up as a headliner was Ted Nugent, Heart, The Cars, and Sammy Hagar, and local band Missouri. Very good show. You can tell it starts changing a little bit, starts getting printed just with the printing on there as opposed to the screen off of that. They're becoming more automated, it seems like. Babies at the Uptown Theater, same with Billy Squier at Uptown Theater, local band Shooting Star in Memorial Hall. It was a Summer Jam 2 REO Speedwagon. You still see the screen printing of those, how they were in the distributed. Police and Ted Nugent again. This was a great show, though. I remember, I was a big Ted Nugent fan way back in the day. Not so much anymore. Ted's a little outspoken for me, but Ted Nugent, heck of a guitar player, but this was a great show. It was Ted Nugent, the Scorpions, and Def Leppard on their very first American tour. So great to see them. I remember Def Leppard really well off of that. So you see that it starts changing, the print does, in regards to that. So this was Stevie Nicks and Joe Walsh, so still, again, automated. Then every once in a while you'd have something where it comes by, and they are still kind of screen printed like that on that, and it's not automated. So really cool to have those. And Elton John at Starlight Theater, if I recall, he had the original band back together, Nigel Olsson and Dee Murray. It was the whole that. I remember Starlight Theater is a great place to see a concert at here. Journey, and this was at Starlight Theater. This was a special concert to me. We saw the Kinks. They had been around for a long time, even at this point, at 1983, but this is special. I can still remember where I was sitting. This was the first concert that I went to with my wife as a couple when we were dating. So, and we've been married for 37 years now going on. So, Lollapalooza, again, automated ticket, 1996. Very cool. That was Metallica. Let's see, Soundgarden. Who else? Screaming Trees. Rancid. There was a bunch of people there. Still seeing a lot of automated tickets really right now coming into, it's like through the 90s where they're tearing off the stubs. We had Rush, Bush. Very cool of that. Van Halen out of Sandstone. So Van Halen tickets, saw Van Halen on every lineup that they had, so I was really glad to that. Loudest concerts that I ever went to was Motorhead. So again, still printed like that. Foo Fighters. Then you start seeing, depending upon the venues change their printing a little bit, as you can see, you know, where you're getting it printed at. So saw Beck at Starlight Theater. So a little bit different to go. Robert Plant at the Midland Theater. So as you see how the ticket is really big and different. And you used to get, depending on where you're at, if you were going, I saw the Rolling Stones in Colorado, and they gave you a pass to get onto the field also. It was pretty cool. And as you tell, kind of started going back to a little bit bigger ticket, but more printed. Again, the venue, Elvis Costello and the Imposters, was at the Crossroads here, outdoor venue here in Kansas City. But then you look at, you know, still just printed, U2 printed. Then you get into, they start really rolling them out. They're not really a ticket anymore. It seems really weird, which is the Sprint Center for the last Kiss tour that I saw. So that's kind of almost the end of what you feel is a real ticket. You know, this was not what I would consider a real ticket like, you know, this is. Now, if you go to your venues, you can still go up to the box office and they'll get you a ticket like this. And you can also save on service fees sometimes if you do that. But now the modern day is emailed to you and you print it home. So I'll show you a few of the different ones that are on it. This was Bob Seger. As you can tell, the difference on it. See that one? Cheap Trick and Peter Frampton. A little bit different, right? Then you even get a little more different from that. You know, it just depends on who's doing it. This is a special concert, though. Saw Temple of the Dog in New York. Very cool road trip to go on to. And then as you can see, something even more different, which was, this was, I believe it was the Foo Fighters. Yeah, Foo Fighters. So you can tell that those are different. And now you wind up having, where it's basically mobile, and you scan your phone going into there, and you pull your phone up, and you look at it. It has like a 10 or 15 second at the most, I think, where it refreshes, so you can't copy it. It literally, the code on there refreshes, so you show it to that. So it's the new digital age is obviously something very cool, but there's nothing like still having in my hand. It's 1978 Eagles, my very first concert ticket. It just means so much more being on this little bitty worn out piece of paper than it does something you printed off your computer or that you hold in your hand. Obviously, you make memories no matter how you get to the concert, and it's about being the experience and getting there. Like I say, going to a concert, went to Jack White, and of course Jack White doesn't allow any phones or cameras in, so it lets you experience that so much more. I mean, then there are other bands that are, you know, Pearl Jam or whoever, it's just like, we want you to take photos, we want you to have that experience of remembering it that way. So it's all about you and how you want to enjoy a concert, but it's going to be interesting for the next wave, see what the pricing is on tickets, see how many acts book out and how far out they book. Again, I expect there's going to be a ton of bands out there trying to book tours and get out on the road to tour again once everything is leveled out. But it'll be interesting to see how many in the future I can go to, because obviously you can only go to so many, and if the price is going to be higher, which honestly I expect it to be higher, I think that it's going to be difficult to see as many shows as I'd like to, but looking to see as many bands as I can, get back out and enjoy hearing live music. But I thought I would give you a little show of what my concert tickets were and some of the differences up to date now. So, hey, this is Tracy with Record Fuel. Thanks for tuning in. So I got the new Evanescence, The Bitter Truth. Got it right here, picked it up, was able to go ahead and get it on the indie exclusive clear vinyl. I'll show you that in just a second, but I want to kind of give a review to it. Again, just came out a few weeks ago. I've listened to it a few times. It is kind of a throwback to their first albums, The Open Door and Fallen. In the same light as that, has this huge sound, which they always do, but it's got this piano and her voice is just amazing on it. The rhythmic drums. The one thing that I would say is there's probably not too many guitar solos in this album. It is just this big orchestrated wall of sound with pianos and guitar and this pulsating drum beats that just go through the whole album. The drums are amazing on it. Actually, the sound of the album is terrific. Don't really hear a single in it. I think probably my favorite song on there, which kind of cool, they give you this inner sleeve. I'll go ahead and hold it up for you. They got that in the back, and then it's a gatefold, which is kind of cool. It's nice, thick. Then the inside like that, and then it has all the lyrics to the songs. Again, I think probably my favorite song on there is "Yeah Right." That's as close to a pop song as Evanescence is going to probably ever put out. It has this higher pitch and this uplifting tempo that it just kind of feels. When I started listening to it, it's like, oh wow, well, this is kind of different. But it has a melodic to it that her voice just carries through it, and it just has this higher tone to it that kind of sounds more pop than the symphonic kind of rock that they put out. Again, they're kind of her voice is really good on this album, and it is she can sing pretty much anything and make it sound great. So some of the words that are on here, she makes even a bad word sound really good. So I think if you didn't have the lyrics on here, you're going to be hard pressed to know what all the lyrics are or what she's saying on here. So this is really kind of pointed, dark, and also inspiring. I think there's a few anthems of what the country's been going through in general, of her writing, and maybe it's personal for her, but it kind of transcends to me of what our country is going through. Some of the writing on it, like "Take Cover" and "Use My Voice," kind of have that feeling to me of it, of what's going on, being able to overcome. Again, probably my favorite song is "Yeah Right." One thing that was disappointing, and they kind of seem to have it with all records that come out now, and it's kind of a bummer, but I appreciate the nice deal. And again, here's the translucent clear, which again is really cool, but it comes in this cardboard container that every time you pull in and out, you're going to scratch up your record. So I like to put mine in these just because I want to protect my record. So it's kind of annoying that we get that in this. It's nice to have this at least so you can have the words and that extra piece there, but it's kind of a bummer sometimes to get it in that. Overall, I'd say if you like the Fallen or the Fallen, Open Door, you're going to love this album. It's well mixed and produced. The sound is this really finished product. But one thing is like with Evanescence, I'm not really a complete, I'm not a metal head, so to speak. I don't listen to a lot of metal. I'm, hard rock, jazz, a lot of blues. But I like Rush and some other bands like that, even, Dream Theater. So I like sounds that are completely different. But Evanescence, there's definitely nobody that sounds like Evanescence at all. I mean, in my opinion. I know there's a few bands that people would say sound a little like them, or they're just a variant of them, but I don't think there's anybody that sounds like Evanescence. Amy Lee's voice is tremendous on every record, and Will Hunt's drums are just amazing on this, and this is a new lineup that they've had for a few years now, but if you're an Evanescence fan, this is a can't miss for you. The only thing with me with Evanescence is sometimes a little goes a long way, so I can't put this on and spin it 4 or 5 times in a row. I'm going to put it on, listen to it, and pull it out maybe a couple of months later and listen to it again. So as that, though, it was a good purchase. I like the album and think there was probably more in store. Hopefully, I've never seen Evanescence live. I know they toured with Lindsey Sterling, which would have been really cool to see a couple of years ago. Maybe that'll come back again, but I'd like to see Evanescence in concert at some point because their sound is, for me, it's amazing. So again, this is Tracy. This is Record Fuel and my record review. Thanks. Hey, it's Tracy. We're here in Kansas City, and we're going to go into the Kemper Museum of Art. Getting ready to enter in on a rainy day in Kansas City. They have an outdoor eating area that actually is enclosed, and as you can tell, the art is just amazing here at the museum.